If you are an entrepreneur, if you are any type of creative, if you are a person who takes a chance on you, if you are a person who believes in yourself, this video is for you. Getting right into it out the gate, sometimes you're going to be broke. Sometimes you are only going to have enough money to buy your supplies for the next month and maybe pay your suite rent, or whether you're renting out a storefront, or whether if you're an artist, if you need art supplies, sometimes you only going to have money for that. There's going to be times where you make $5,000 in a month, and there's going to be times where you're lucky to make even $5. So sometimes you're going to be broke. This entrepreneur shit is not for the weak. Sometimes you're not going to have no money. Sometimes you're going to look up and you're going to be a year in and still ain't made no profit. You're going to get to year 3 and be like, I'm still doing what I was doing in year 1. I ain't getting that much money. I got a couple more clients, but the cost of my products is higher now. What should I do? Should I stop here? Then you're going to get to year 5. Am I rich yet? I ain't rich yet. I ain't a household name yet. Everybody don't know who I am yet. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been consistent for a long time. Should I just stop here? Maybe I should just stop and go get a job. Maybe I should be a little more realistic. Then you're going to be 10 years in. And up, finally, everybody knows who I am. Now I'm starting to turn a little bit of a profit. I thought that this would happen in 2 years, but it took 10. Okay, cool. Glad I didn't give up. And don't get me wrong, that's not everybody's story. Some people turn a profit in 6 months. Some people are very successful from the start. You have to factor in location, a need for your business. Is there a need for this? What I'm doing, is this something that people want? There's so many factors. We can make another video about that, but the point of my story is you cannot give up. There is going to be downsides. The biggest one being not making a profit as fast as you would like to. I'll say that. Another thing is a problem that I ran into was always trying to bring people with me, always trying to put people on, always trying to include people. And in one of my videos, if y'all go back and check out my other videos, make sure y'all go check out my other videos. But in an old video, I said sometimes the blessing is just for you, whether that blessing is material or a business idea. Sometimes it's just for you. I've went through my whole phase of trying to have a suite and have other people that provide services with me, and it did not work out. Sometimes people are not going to take things as serious as you. Sometimes people are just you're gonna run into people who are just potential. Everybody's not meant to go with you. Sometimes God will give you an idea, and it's up to you to make something happen with that idea. And sometimes He don't want you to include other people. But like I said, there will always be a downside. But let's get into some things. There's keeping up with trends. Like, y'all, oh my God, there's so many trends right now, especially in the beauty industry. Like, and it's hard to keep up with the trends and maintain my integrity as an esthetician, because I don't like to steer away from what I was taught in school. I don't like to go against the rules and the health and safety of people's eyes and skin. But that's what a lot of girls want now. And that's so tough for me because I like a more natural, I like to do more natural lashes. And everybody likes the big bulky lashes right now. I'm trying to keep my clientele, you know, very classy, very natural looking. I don't like the big flyaway lashes. So, you know, I lose out on that money for those girls that want those type of services that I do not provide, because I'm not willing to compromise the integrity of your lash line to make you look like Baby Bop. I'm not doing it. So, like I said, keeping up with all the trends and what's in right now, and what everybody's getting, and everybody wants to look the same these days. So it's like, do I step into that, or do I remain true to what I do and who I am? Just so many different things that I have to factor in being an esthetician and being an entrepreneur. There's the paperwork that I have to handle. I have to apply to get in a suite. I have to have my ducks in a row. My business has to be legit. And that's another thing. People think that I'm just bullshitting with my business, but I have a legit business. I have an LLC. I have an EIN. Things like that. I've had to deal with a corrupt landlord before. Had to go to court for that. Just so many different things that you have to deal with. So this is kind of going to be part 2 of my story time that I did last year, and that one was called Take the Risk. And in that video, I just told you guys a little bit about how I got started with the lashing, and how I went to school and all of that. And I just want to kind of share the other side of things. I know a lot of people who have their own businesses and things like that, they love to make videos and talk about the good side of being an entrepreneur. But I kind of wanted to talk about the downside of it. And I won't even really call it a downside, because there's ups and downs with everything. But I wanted to just tell you guys a little bit more about my downs. So part of the reason that I'm so big on self-love, and I share my spiritual journey with you guys, as well as when I'm feeling high and when I'm feeling low, I do that because with me having my own business, I've learned how my personal life actually affects me as an entrepreneur. Things that have happened in my personal life that had absolutely nothing to do with my business have put me in a position to where I've almost lost everything. I'm talking about falling out with people, my relationship, just so many little factors that you never really think about how they're having an effect on what you do professionally, but they do. There have been times where just me being unaware of the people around me and the effect that me trying to do something for myself had on the people around me. I just really wasn't aware how that was affecting people, whether I was dealing with somebody who was jealous of me, or whether I was dealing with somebody who wanted to see me down, or somebody who didn't like how independent I was becoming. I wasn't aware of those things, or how I was a people pleaser, and me being a people pleaser held me back from being the best version of myself when it comes to me having my own business and me being creative, and me having the energy and the motivation to keep going and do what it is that I started. I had to learn how sometimes when whatever you're doing that's new, whether it's starting a business or going back to school or getting a higher position at work or whatever it is, when you're growing, sometimes it becomes uncomfortable for people who are used to seeing you a certain way, and they're used to seeing you on a certain level, and people that you expect to be there for you, people that you've been there for wholeheartedly, you expect them to be there for you in the same way, and they're not. And the only reason that they're not sometimes is because you're elevating, and it's hard for them to see you go up, especially when they didn't have any they had no intentions, or not even intentions, but they just had no idea that maybe you could one day start growing and expanding and change, or just become somebody different that they did not expect, and it makes them uncomfortable, which in turn makes them not support you, or it makes them think that you think you're better than them, or it makes them jealous of you, or sometimes it even makes people start attacking you for no reason, all because you're trying to better yourself. And a lot of the time it comes from the people closest to you, whether that's friends or family. And I think the hardest part for me was watching people who just did not believe in me, or people who just thought I was crazy, or like who looked at me like, what does she think she doing, or what she thinks she finna do with this, and that's very hurtful, especially when you were excited about this new venture you on, or you put your all into something only for the people that you love to not even support you or pour into you. I see so many entrepreneurs who make posts about friends and family not supporting them, not sharing their social media content, not sharing their work, not referring people to them. And I was one of those people too. I used to complain about how, people were not supporting me. And it wasn't until I learned that you're going to get most of your support from people who don't even know you. Once I learned that, I stopped trying to put out content that would get the attention of people that I knew, like people from my hometown, or people who I grew up with, or people in my own family. I stopped looking to them to be my supporters, and I started putting myself out there to strangers. And that's when I started becoming more successful at what I was trying to do. So what I kind of did was start blocking people from all of my social media. People who know me and don't support me, people who watch everything that I do and can't even hit the like button. And I know that a lot of people will say, like, likes, and honestly, likes are not that important. I really don't get a lot of engagement on my social media, but I get the clients, and the clients is what I want. So like, I'm not too much concerned with the likes now in this moment, because I know that what matters is how you're converting those views into appointments. So I was always getting the views, but I wasn't getting the engagement, because like I said, people who know you are the last people who are going to support you. But anyway, like I said, I rather have the clients. But I started blocking people. I started making room for people who wanted to book me. People who didn't know me and didn't have an opinion of me. They just saw my work and they thought that it was good enough and they wanted to book an appointment. I made room for those people. I went on a blocking spree. And that was the best thing that I ever did. Like, blocking people, getting those people, those envious people, jealous people, people who want to see you down, people who hope you don't make it. I got all of those people off of my social media. And I'm only speaking on social media because that's where I promote my business at. But yeah, I got rid of those people and I made room for new clients and new supporters. Another thing that I've ran into with having my own business is offending the 9-to-5 workers. And I know I'm not the only one who's dealt with this, but for some reason, when you are a creative person or entrepreneur, or you're somebody who believes in you, and you know that you can do more outside of a 9-to-5, that really rattles those people who can't see outside of the system. Those people who can't, they're not willing to take chances. They're not willing to gamble with their stability, or and I mean, not that you should be gambling with your stability, but some of us do. They can't understand a creative. They can't understand a person who is willing to say, I'm bigger than this job. I'm about to go and try to make something happen for myself. I'm going to build my own brand and build my own business, and I want to be the boss. I don't want to answer to anybody. I don't want nobody breathing down my neck. I don't want to have to deal with the discrimination in the workplace. For some reason, when you're a creative person, it really ruffles the feathers of people who believe in the system, people who are okay with somebody telling them what to do every day. And I have absolutely no problem with working a 9 to 5. Like, I've done it. I've been working since I was 14 years old. I've been in almost every genre of the workplace. I've worked in fast food. I've worked corporate jobs. I've worked in call centers. I've worked in warehouses. I was in the military. Like, I've done it all. My resume is long and strong. Okay. I have worked a lot of 9 to 5 jobs. If that's your thing, do you. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is when the people look down on people who want to take a chance on themselves. Like I said, I've experienced every type of job, and I still feel like the best option for me is to be my own boss, to be a boss, period. I've dealt with the discrimination. I've dealt with getting fired for no reason. I've dealt with thinking that I have some job stability and security, and then all of a sudden the business they go out of business. I've dealt with all of that, and I still feel like the best choice for me is to work for myself. And there's been plenty of times where I've went out and got a part-time job while having my own business, just because, to keep up with everything, to keep up with my expenses and things like that. So I don't have a problem with working a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But that's something that I've experienced. People looking down on me because they have stability or job security with their position and what they're doing in their life. And they think that I'm crazy because I'm taking chances on myself. And I know that sometimes it can look, when you don't have a job or anybody to answer to, it can look like you're just bullshitting. It can look like there's no work being done. Especially like with me, I have what I do, I can be myself. I can show my personality. I don't have to have a stick up my ass. I can literally be myself and do what I do, because I'm still professional at the end of the day. But I just don't have to pretend. I don't have to put on a show for anybody. I get to just be me. And I'm not, long as I'm not disrespecting nobody or harming anybody, I still get what I need. I still get the clients that I need. I still get the growth that I need, that I'm looking for. I'm still getting those things. What I do might look different than what somebody else does, but what I'm doing is fulfilling to me. It just so happened that I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not in order to get my job done. And people got to look at it like this. I'm still getting up in the morning. I don't have anybody telling me if I don't make it on time, I'm going to get fired or I'm going to get a write-up or anything like that. But if I'm late to my clients, if I'm not there for their appointments, you think they're going to come back to me? If I'm unprofessional, do you think I would have returning clients? If I was wasting time, or if I'm bullshitting or lollygagging, do you think that there would be a Con Candy Aesthetics? No, there wouldn't be. So I don't know. People gotta kind of like stop projecting and stop projecting. Stop thinking that what I'm doing, you would do it differently, so I wouldn't be successful in it because I'm not doing it the way that you would do it. Another thing that I wanted to touch on really quickly was meeting people in what I like to call the off season. Because I think a lot of the times people forget that entrepreneurs are still regular people. We still go through things. We still have to process things and deal with things in our regular life, just like everybody else. So like I said, meeting people in the off season is really tough as well, especially when you're an outgoing person, a hard worker, somebody who really, really believes in yourself, a creative. Like when you having that off season, like when it's slow for you, or you're not really in a creative energy, or you may be dealing with things in your personal life, and you meet people and they look down on you, or they feel like, you not one of them. Like, that is my biggest pet peeve. Like, meeting people and they think less of me, and it's just like, you don't even know, like, I'm in the off season right now. Like, this is downtime for me. Like, I'm resting, I'm regrouping, I'm letting my creative ideas simmer. I'm processing, I'm getting ready to go hard again. Sometimes we have those down seasons, and I really hate meeting people in those times, because it's like, you don't even know I'm really a hustler. Like, I'm really like that. I really get to the bag. I really showcase my talents. I'm really talented in a lot of areas. And it kind of, like, me dealing with it has kind of put me in places where I've had, mental places where I've had to deal with imposter syndrome, where I had to keep reminding myself, like, you is one of those. Like, don't let people who met you in your off season make you think you not one of them ones. And I'm a really, really strong woman. I carry a lot. And sometimes shit gets too heavy. Like, when I was a little younger, before I went through certain things, I used to feel like I could take on the world. I didn't care what was thrown at me. I'm handling it. I'm knocking down obstacles, and I'm gonna keep going. Sometimes your back really do be against the wall, on top of you trying to balance being an entrepreneur, on top of you trying to balance being a creative. Like, in the last 3 years, I've gotten to a place where I was completely boxed in mentally, couldn't see no way out. Like, I'm still going through the motions, but a lot of people don't even know, like, I've been on edge for a couple years. Like, I've been dealing with a lot in my personal life, and still trying to not let go of what I started. So it's hard sometimes. It's hard sometimes, and it's even more, it puts you in an even more messed up place where you dealing with stuff. You don't have people that you could really talk to about anything. And then you have people coming around you, and they meeting you in your off season, and they think that you are just some nobody who is just playing around in life, who somebody that they should not take serious. And it's something about being chosen. It's something about being God's favorite that, like, I don't know why it's designed this way, but for some reason we go through the most. We experience the most heartache. We experience the most pain, the most betrayal. And that's why sometimes I don't be understanding when, when people meet me, or people have known me for a long time, and they get envious, or they look down on me, because it's like, you don't even know what I've been through. You don't even know what I'm dealing with. I'm shining through it all. I'm shining through the darkness. They don't see the darkness though. They only see the shine, or what they consider a shine. They see something in you, and they want to take it away. And it's like, how you want to take something away? I'm not even operating on my own strength. That's how you know you one of God's favorite. That's how you know you chosen. You ain't even operating off your own strength. And people still want to take from you. People still want to knock you down a peg. Just because you choose to go clock in every day and work for somebody else, and I choose to try to do something for me, whether I'm successful at it or not, does not mean your life is going to turn out better than mine. It doesn't mean that you should be taken serious and I shouldn't. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful and I'm not. Just because my path, or my work life, or my personal life looks different than yours, does not mean that it's not orchestrated by God. It does not mean that God still doesn't have his hands all over it and all over me. So if you're an entrepreneur or any type of creative, it doesn't even have to be an entrepreneur. If you decide you want to wake up tomorrow and go back to school and get a degree, or if you want to go back and try to attempt to get your high school diploma, or you want to open up a business, or you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to be a TikToker, whatever you want to do, go for it. Go for it. Don't fall for the imposter syndrome. Don't let people get to you. It's okay to be creative. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be weird. That don't make you no less than anybody else, because you're fun, because you have a personality. You still just as good as anybody else. And if not, you're stronger because you're willing to look stupid, because you're willing to put yourself out there and try new things, whether you fail or not, because you keep getting up when you do fail. That makes you one of those, so, if you're an entrepreneur, we got this, y'all. Like, it's hard. It is hard being an entrepreneur. It is hard trying to work for yourself. It's hard making income for yourself. And I've been doing a lot of this with no help. What I do is with little to no support. And like, I'm getting a little more support now because, like I said, I blocked a lot of them haters, and I've been getting a lot of support now because I made room for them. And maybe you need to do the same thing. Maybe you need to cut some people off, block some people, make room for the new. So, really quick, while I have you guys here, if you go on Amazon, you can purchase my self-love journal as well as my shadow work journal for the generational curse breaker. I created these two journals back in January of 2024. They've been live on Amazon. They are available for purchase if you guys are interested in those. They're just full of quotes and questions that I had to ask myself when I was going through it, when I didn't love myself, when I was working on breaking generational curses. I think you guys will really love them, especially if you are an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs, believe it or not, are the generational curse breaker in their family, like I am. So yeah, I have these both available. I'm going to make a separate video talking a little more about them. I didn't want to use up too much time in this video because this video wasn't about these, but I did create these journals, another one of my little crazy entrepreneur ideas. So yeah, make sure y'all head over to Amazon and purchase those.